powered by Reviting, streaming from the Reviting Digital Studio. It's the David Daily. Exploring frontier technology, artificial intelligence, quantum innovation, and the intersection of faith, funding, and the future. Here's your host, David Goecke.
Welcome to the David Daily. It is the David Daily Show on December 13th. We've been going 13 episodes strong. I am incredibly excited and blessed to share the news with you today. And current events, quantum topics, AI and faith, and our special segment, if you've been watching, Beyond the Bag, where we talk about one thing from my travel bag as a full-time traveler and founder, the thing that you want to hear about today. And that's why I'm so grateful to be able to share with you emerging and current events on the show. That is the first segment. It's always about current events. Thank you, Ethan, for joining. I see Ethan, I see Jesse, I see Shida, I see Carrie. If you're in the comments, please post where you are coming from. We are averaging 500 views a day on this. So the analytics are insane on this across all major streaming platforms. So thank you for joining. And in our first area of current events, we have Nvidia. We've been following Nvidia strong. We have the H200 chip output and expansion. So Nvidia is considering increasing their H200 AI chip output due to the strong demand from China. You may have noticed recently that a major bellwether for the global AI hardware cycle and trade policy dynamics, according to Reuters Health. This is fascinating to me because, as you can imagine, Reuters Health is a huge part of the current event cycle. And of course, Nvidia, as one of the largest in the world, is actually very fascinating. And now we also see, in additional current topics, lawmakers demand export rationale. What does this mean? It means that a US lawmaker is demanding details on the government's decision to allow Nvidia's H200 chip exports to China, signaling political and strategic scrutiny at the intersection of tech and national policy. This brings up an interesting portion of aspect where technology and government get involved in foreign policy. And this is something we sometimes like to see, but often we like to see our technology be agnostic of our government, allow free enterprise to rule supreme, and show us exactly what's going on. And that is our segment around the lawmaker demands. Now, moving on to other news, we are also seeing that the AI stock boom is actually going crazy. And in terms of the stock markets and the AI bubble, in fact, we are seeing a very interesting thing happen in the stock market. We're actually seeing that there is a level of stock market concerns. In fact, markets fell yesterday on Friday the 12th as investors braced over fears of an AI investment bubble and rising yields, underscoring how sentiment and macro factors still drive volatility in high growth tech. Thank you for tuning in to today. We actually see lawmakers quite concerned about this, and we're seeing that this AI bubble is actually putting people into a place of concern. Will stocks continue to rise, or will they fall? And that is part of our news segment here on the David Daily. If you're tuning in here, thank you so much. We've been live now for 4 minutes. The Daily News Show, telling you about current events today, talking about quantum topics, and talking about all things AI and faith. So now, as we go into our fourth major topic today, Boeing, of all people, is actually delaying Air Force One. Can you believe this? The US government announced another delay on the Air Force One delivery, impacting Boeing schedules, a reminder of how defense projects intersect with broad tech and industrial ecosystems. This is quite interesting because, as you know, Air Force One is the government plane systems for the United States. And if you're tuning in, would love to hear where you're tuning in from. We see Hawaii, we see Eileen tuning in on Instagram, we see Ohio, we've got Erica, we've got all sorts of people joining in. Really appreciate you just seeing all the comments flowing in. If you're watching this later on Livestream. Thank you so much. We've got the Stream Hub shop on Kick platform as well. Love to see all the comments coming in. Thank you so much. So in our final news, our final segment of current events have to do with, you know it, Bitcoin strategy in Nasdaq. That's exactly right. We see the Bitcoin strategy handling strategy, giant strategy remains. In fact, in the Nasdaq Top 100, we're seeing a sign of how crypto influence plays are sustaining a presence in the Nasdaq stock market, even in turbulent tech markets. Yesterday, we saw that even Tesla themselves was struggling with markets yesterday as the quarterly income and reportings came low. We saw Tesla itself had sold the least amount of Tesla stock that it has ever seen before. So we see a major sell-off there. And so that concludes your current event topics for the day of December 13th. Thank you so much for tuning in to this daily live show and talk show and daily podcast coming to you on all major platforms. We're very, very thankful that you're tuning in. And as we conclude, I just want to encourage you, please join me as a guest. We have guests that are already live streaming with us. Every day we bring the daily current events on the David Daily. We are invested heavily into bringing you the latest and the greatest every single day, getting better, building in public, doing this messy. And if you have streamed in for the first time, thank you so much. Please share this news segment with a friend. Repost it on your social medias, including TikTok. We love to be live on TikTok as well, across all major platforms. And of course, you can find David Goecke on all platforms. I'm signing off as your host. It is a pleasure to bring you the daily news segment, the daily current events on the David Daily. Signing off, be blessed. Thank you so much. And see you tomorrow on the David Daily, a live stream, talk show, and podcast.